Poor girl only had $4 for a blind date. The single millionaire CEO at the next table watched her and paid for the entire dinner. Emma Rodriguez stood in the restaurant bathroom, staring at the crumpled bills in her palm. $3.72. That's all she had until her unemployment check came through. The mirror reflected her carefully pressed dress, the one nice thing she owned, and the fear in her eyes. Her date had chosen Le Bernardin, where appetizers cost more than her entire net worth. She didn't know that the man at the corner table had been watching her panic, or that in 20 minutes he'd change everything. Welcome back to our channel, everyone. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to join our family of story lovers. Comment below where you're watching from. I love connecting with viewers around the world. Today's story will remind you that sometimes angels come in unexpected forms, and true worth has nothing to do with your bank account. Emma tucked the bills back into her wallet and took a deep breath. She could do this. She'd simply order water and claim she wasn't hungry. Her stomach growled in protest. She hadn't eaten since yesterday's lunch, but pride was the only currency she had left. There you are. Her date, Brandon, waved from a table in the center of the restaurant. His Rolex caught the light as he gestured. I was starting to think you'd stood me up. Sorry, there was traffic. Emma sat carefully, aware of every eye in the upscale restaurant. She didn't belong here, among the crystal glasses and white tablecloths. No worries. I already ordered us the wine, the 2015 Chateau Margaux. You'll love it. Brandon poured her a glass without asking. It's only $300 a bottle, but you're worth it. Emma's hand trembled as she reached for the glass. $300. That was 2 weeks of groceries, part of her mother's medication. That's very generous. Please, money's just paper. I probably spend more on my monthly gym membership. He laughed, the sound grating. So tell me about yourself. Your profile said you're a teacher. Was. Budget cuts. Emma kept her voice steady. I'm between positions right now. Ah, unemployed. That's rough. His eyes swept over her dress with new assessment. Is that why you suggested meeting at that coffee shop instead? Couldn't afford a real date? Heat flooded Emma's cheeks. I just thought coffee would be nice for a first meeting. Coffee's for job interviews, not dates. When I take a woman out, I do it right. He signaled the waiter. We'll have the tasting menu, both of us. Actually, I'm not very hungry. Nonsense. You're skin and bones. The tasting menu it is. Brandon didn't even look at her as he ordered. And bring the wine list, this bottle's almost done. Emma watched in growing horror as he ordered dish after dish, each price making her sink lower in her chair. The tasting menu alone was $295 per person. She couldn't even afford the breadbasket. At the corner table, Nathan Sterling had abandoned all pretense of reading his emails. He'd noticed the young woman the moment she'd walked in, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because of the way she'd hesitated at the door, counting something in her hand before squaring her shoulders with determination. Now he watched her shrink as her date boasted about his wealth, each word designed to humiliate rather than impress. Nathan knew the type. He'd fired several executives just like him, men who confused cruelty with power. The bathroom in my penthouse is probably bigger than your whole apartment, Brandon was saying. Where do you live anyway? Queens, Emma said quietly. Queens? Seriously? I haven't been to the outer boroughs since ever. He laughed again. How do you even live there? It's home. My mother and I. You live with your mother? At your age? Brandon shook his head. That's... wow. No wonder you're single. Nathan's jaw clenched. He'd heard enough. But before he could intervene, the situation escalated. So, Brandon leaned back as the first course arrived. I'm curious. How are you planning to pay for your half of this? Emma froze. My half? Well, yeah, it's 2024. Women want equality, right? I assumed we'd split it. His smile was predatory. Unless you can't afford it. Brandon, you chose this place. You ordered for both of us without asking, and you sat there and let me. If you couldn't afford it, you should have said something. He pulled out his phone, calculating. Let's see, with wine and tip, your half comes to about $400. That shouldn't be a problem, right? Emma's world tilted. $400. She had $3.72. I need to use the restroom, she managed. Again? You just went. Brandon's eyes narrowed. You're not trying to skip out on the bill, are you? No, because that would be theft. I'd have to call the police. He said it loud enough for nearby tables to hear. Sit down and eat your meal. Then we'll discuss payment. Emma sat, trapped. Tears burned her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not here. Not in front of him. That's when Nathan stood up. He moved with the easy confidence of someone who owned every room he entered. His tailored suit probably cost more than Emma's monthly rent, but he wore it like armor as he approached their table. "Excuse me," he said smoothly. "I couldn't help but overhear. You're discussing payment arrangements?" Brandon puffed up. "This is a private conversation." "In a public restaurant, speaking at that volume?" "Hardly private." Nathan's smile was sharp. "I'm Nathan Sterling. I own this establishment." Emma's eyes widened. Brandon deflated slightly. "You own Le Bernardin?" "Among other things, and I have a strict policy about guests being comfortable in my restaurants." He turned to Emma, his expression softening. "Is everything to your satisfaction, Miss Rodriguez?" Emma whispered. "Emma Rodriguez." "Miss Rodriguez, I apologize if your dining experience has been anything less than perfect." He pulled out a card. "As the owner, I'd like to comp your meal tonight. Both meals, actually. Consider it an apology for any discomfort." "That's not necessary," Emma started. "I insist. In fact," Nathan turned back to Brandon, "I believe you were just leaving, without Miss Rodriguez." "You can't just—" "I can, and I am. Security will escort you out. Your meal will be charged to the card on file." Nathan's voice brooked no argument. "And Brandon, you're banned from all my establishments, indefinitely." Brandon sputtered, face red, but security was already approaching. He left with a string of muttered curses, leaving Emma alone with Nathan. "I'm sorry," she said immediately. "I didn't mean to cause trouble. I can pay for my meal. I just need to—" "Miss Rodriguez, Emma." Nathan sat in Brandon's vacated chair. "You have nothing to apologize for. That man was a bully, and bullies aren't welcome here. But I really can't afford this place. He was right about that." The admission cost her, but she was tired of pretending. "Can I tell you a secret?" Nathan leaned in conspiratorially. "Neither could I once. 15 years ago, I washed dishes in a kitchen not unlike this one. I know what it's like to count every penny." Emma studied his face, searching for deception. "You're just saying that." "I'm not. I have the calluses to prove it." He showed her his hands, still bearing the marks of manual labor despite the manicure. "Success doesn't erase your past. It just gives you the power to help others facing the same struggles. I don't need charity. I'm not offering charity, I'm offering dinner. When's the last time you ate?" Emma's silence was answer enough. "That's what I thought. Please, let me at least feed you. No strings, no expectations, just food." He signaled the waiter. "Cancel the tasting menu. Bring us the roasted chicken, the seasonal vegetables, and the chocolate souffle for dessert." "That's still too much. It's dinner. Simple, filling dinner. And if it makes you feel better, you can consider it a business expense. I'm always looking for honest feedback on our menu." Despite everything, Emma found herself almost smiling. From someone who can't afford to eat here. Especially from someone who can't afford to eat here. "You'll tell me the truth, not what you think I want to hear." He poured her water, noticing she hadn't touched the wine. "Besides, I hate eating alone, and you've just saved me from another solitary meal. Don't you have people, friends, family? Money buys many things, Miss Rodriguez. Genuine company isn't one of them." The sadness in his voice was unmistakable. "Most people see the bank account, not the person. It's refreshing to meet someone who didn't know who I was." "I still don't really, beyond restaurant owner." "Good. Let's keep it that way for now. Tell me about teaching. Why did you choose it?" As the food arrived, Emma found herself relaxing. Nathan was easy to talk to, genuinely interested in her stories about her students, her passion for education. He laughed at her descriptions of third-grade chaos, asked thoughtful questions about curriculum challenges. "You miss it," he observed, as she described a breakthrough with a struggling reader. "Every day. But positions are scarce, and most require you to relocate. I can't leave my mother." She caught herself. "Sorry, you don't need to hear my problems." "Your mother's ill?" "Miss Progressive. I'm her primary caregiver." Emma straightened. "It's an honor, not a burden. She sacrificed everything to raise me alone. This is my turn to take care of her." Nathan was quiet for a moment. "My mother died when I was 15. Cancer. I'd give anything for the chance to care for her now. I'm sorry." "Don't be. But treasure the time you have. Money can't buy that back." He paused. "Is that why you agreed to the blind date? Trying to find stability?" Emma flushed. "My friend set it up, said Brandon was successful, kind. She meant well. Friends often do. They just don't always see the whole picture." Nathan pushed the dessert toward her. "Try this. Our pastry chef is a genius." The chocolate soufflé was heaven. Emma closed her eyes, savoring it, missing Nathan's soft smile at her expression. "Worth the hype?" he asked. "Worth selling my soul for," she said, then caught herself. "Sorry, that was honest. I appreciate honesty." He checked his watch, genuinely regretful. "I have a conference call with Tokyo in 20 minutes. But Emma, I'd like to ensure you get home safely. May I arrange a car? I can take the subway." "At this hour? Please, let me do this small thing." She wanted to refuse, but the truth was, she'd been dreading the long ride home, especially after such an emotional evening. "Okay, thank you." Nathan walked her out, where a town car waited. "James will take you wherever you need to go." He handed her a business card. "If you ever need anything, a reference for job applications, a meal when things are tight, or just someone to talk to, please call. Mr. Sterling, Nathan, and I mean it. Sometimes we all need a friend who sees us for who we are, not what we have or don't have." Emma took the card, their fingers brushing. "Thank you. For everything. You saved me tonight." "You saved me too," he said quietly. "From another evening of remembering why I don't trust anyone anymore. You reminded me that good people still exist." The ride home was surreal. Emma kept touching the business card, wondering if the evening had been a dream. The driver, James, was kind, asking about her mother when she directed him to Queens, mentioning his own mother lived nearby. "Mr. Sterling's good people," James said as they pulled up to her building. "Doesn't let many folks see it, but he's got a heart bigger than his bank account." Inside, Emma found her mother waiting up, worry creasing her face despite the late hour. "How was the date, Mika?" "Terrible. And then, wonderful. Mom, the strangest thing happened." She told her mother everything, watching disbelief turn to wonder on her face. "He sounds like an angel," her mother said. "He's just a kind man with money. They exist, apparently." "Are you going to call him?" "I don't know. What would someone like him want with someone like me?" Her mother, wise despite her illness, smiled. "Maybe exactly what you want with him. Someone real." Have you ever experienced kindness from a stranger that changed your perspective? Sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. Share your story in the comments below. Emma didn't call. For 3 days, she carried the card everywhere, pulling it out occasionally to confirm the evening had been real. She applied for more teaching positions, stretched their meager groceries, helped her mother with physical therapy. On the 4th day, her phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Miss Rodriguez? Emma? This is Nathan Sterling." Her heart jumped. "Mr. Sterling. Hi. Nathan, please. I hope I'm not overstepping, but I wanted to check how you were doing." We're fine. Thank you again for dinner." "Actually, that's partly why I'm calling. I have a proposition. Business-related," he added quickly. "My foundation is launching an education initiative. We need someone to design curriculum for underprivileged schools. The position would be temporary, Just 6 months, but it pays well and can be done mostly from home. Emma sank onto the couch. You're offering me a job? I'm offering you an interview. Your passion for education was evident the other night. We need someone who understands the challenges these kids face, someone who teaches because they love it, not just for the paycheck. Nathan, if this is charity, it's not. I have a stack of resumes from Ivy League educators who've never set foot in a public school. I need someone real, someone who gets it. That's you. When's the interview? Tomorrow, if you're available. 2 o'clock at the Sterling Foundation offices. Can you make it? Yes, absolutely. Good, email me your resume tonight. I'll forward it to the team. He paused. And Emma, wear that same dress. It shows you know how to make excellence from limited resources. That's exactly what we need. After they hung up, Emma sat in stunned silence. Her mother wheeled herself in, taking in her daughter's expression. Good news? Maybe, I don't know. It feels too good to be true. Sometimes good things happen to good people, Mija. Let yourself believe it. The next day, Emma arrived at the Sterling Foundation building, a gleaming tower in Manhattan. The lobby alone was worth more than her neighborhood. She almost turned around twice, but the memory of Nathan's voice saying someone real kept her moving forward. The interview panel consisted of 3 people, but Emma only had eyes for Nathan, sitting at the end in another perfect suit. He gave her an encouraging nod. The questions were thorough but fair. They asked about her teaching philosophy, her experience with struggling students, her ideas for accessible curriculum. Emma forgot her nerves, speaking passionately about education as the great equalizer, about every child deserving quality instruction regardless of zip code. Your resume shows a gap in employment, one panelist noted. Budget cuts. My entire department was eliminated. Emma kept her voice steady. I've been caring for my mother while searching for positions. That shows dedication, the woman said, making a note. Family comes first. An hour later, Emma emerged, drained but hopeful. Nathan was waiting in the lobby. How did it go? I think well. They said they'd call within a week. They'll call sooner. He smiled. You impressed them, impressed me too, and I was already convinced. Nathan, can I ask you something? Anything. Why are you helping me? Really? He considered the question. Because I see myself in you. The determination, the pride, the refusal to let circumstances define you, and because... He paused. Because you reminded me that kindness doesn't require an agenda. You talked to me for an hour without knowing I had money. Do you know how rare that is? You're just a person who likes roasted chicken and has opinions about 3rd grade reading levels. Exactly. To everyone else, I'm a walking bank account. To you, I'm just Nathan. He checked his watch. I have another meeting, but Emma, whatever happens with the job, I hope we can be friends, real friends. I'd like that, Emma said, meaning it. They got the call that evening. Emma had the job. 6 months, contract position with possibility of extension, the HR representative explained. The salary is $70,000 prorated, full benefits starting immediately. Emma nearly dropped the phone. That was more than her teaching salary had been. When do I start? Monday, if that works. You'll meet with Mr. Sterling to discuss the project scope. After hanging up, Emma sat on her bed and cried. Relief, joy, disbelief. It all poured out. Her mother held her, crying too. You see, angels do exist. Monday came quickly. Emma arrived early, wearing her good dress again and carrying a notebook full of ideas. Nathan met her in a conference room, but he wasn't alone. Emma, this is Dr. Patricia Williams, our head of education initiatives. She'll be your direct supervisor. Dr. Williams was a warm black woman in her 60s, with kind eyes and an impressive resume. Nathan's told me about your passion for accessible education. I think we're going to work well together. They spent the morning outlining the project, creating curriculum that could be implemented in underfunded schools using minimal resources. It was exactly the kind of challenge Emma loved. The goal, Dr. Williams explained, is to prove that quality education doesn't require expensive technology or materials, just creativity and dedication. That's what I've been saying for years, Emma said excitedly. Some of my best lessons used cardboard and imagination. Nathan smiled. That's why you're here. We need someone who's done more with less. As weeks passed, Emma threw herself into the work. She designed lessons that turned empty boxes into math manipulatives, created reading programs using library books and volunteer readers, developed science experiments with household items. The foundation tested her programs in pilot schools, and the results were immediate. Test scores up 15% in just 1 month, Dr. Williams reported at a team meeting. Teachers are calling it revolutionary. It's not revolutionary, Emma protested. It's just meeting kids where they are. That's what makes it revolutionary, Nathan said from the doorway. He'd been traveling but kept tabs on the project. Most people talk about education reform, you're actually doing it. After the meeting, he asked Emma to stay behind. How's your mother? Good days and bad days? The insurance from this job is helping. She's getting better treatment. Emma smiled. She asks about you, wants to meet the angel who saved her daughter. I'm no angel, just someone who recognizes potential. He paused. Would you like to grab dinner to celebrate the project's success? Are you asking as my boss or my friend? Friend, definitely friend. Though technically Dr. Williams is your boss, not me. Then yes, but somewhere normal this time. No 5-star restaurants. Deal, I know a great pizza place in Brooklyn. The pizza place was perfect. Crowded, loud, authentically New York. Nathan looked hilariously out of place in his suit, but he dove into the greasy slice with genuine enthusiasm. This is incredible, he said, cheese stringing from his chin. Emma laughed, handing him a napkin. You really did work in kitchens, didn't you? No one fakes that kind of appreciation for good, cheap food. Best years of my life in some ways. Everything was simpler. Work hard, get paid, go home tired, but satisfied. He took another bite. Now I attend board meetings and move numbers around screens. Sometimes I miss the simplicity. Why don't you go back? To dishwashing, he smiled. My shareholders would have a heart attack. Not to dishwashing, to simplicity, to doing work that matters to you. Isn't that what the foundation is? Is it? Or is it just another tax write-off that happens to do good? Nathan set down his slice, studying her. You don't pull punches, do you? Would you want me to? No, never. He was quiet for a moment. You're right. The foundation started as an obligation, good PR, tax benefits, but watching you work, seeing the impact, it's becoming something more. It could be everything, Emma said passionately. You have the resources to change thousands of lives, not with handouts, but with real opportunities, education, job training, small business loans. You could build futures. Is that what you'd do, if you had my money? In a heartbeat. Money's just a tool. It's what you build with it that matters. Most people would buy yachts and private islands. Most people haven't watched their mother skip meals to pay for their school supplies. Perspective changes priorities. Nathan reached across the table, taking her hand. You're extraordinary, you know that. I'm just someone who's been poor. It gives you clarity about what actually matters. No, it's more than that. I've known plenty of people who struggled and became bitter, or who succeeded and became cruel. You're neither. He searched for words. You're like sunshine, warm and bright and impossible to ignore. Emma felt heat rise in her cheeks. Nathan, I'm falling for you. The words tumbled out. I know that's inappropriate. I know I'm technically your employer. I know we're from different worlds. But Emma, you're the first real thing in my life in years. Nathan, I can't be your charity case girlfriend. That's not what this is. Isn't it? Rich man helps poor woman. She falls gratefully into his arms. It's a bad movie plot. You're right, he pulled back. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have. I didn't say I wasn't falling for you, too. Emma squeezed his hand before letting go. But I need to know it's real. That it's Nathan and Emma, not CEO and charity case. Can you understand that? Yes, completely. He smiled ruefully. So what do? We take it slow. We stay friends. When my contract ends, when I'm not dependent on you for income, we see what's still there. That's 3 months away. If it's real, it'll keep. Nathan nodded slowly. You're right. You're absolutely right. Friends. Friends. But staying just friends proved challenging. They worked together on expanding the education program, spent evenings refining curriculum, weekends visiting pilot schools. Somewhere between spreadsheets and school visits, the line blurred. You have chalk in your hair, Nathan said one afternoon, reaching out to brush it away. They were in a Bronx elementary school, Emma having just demonstrated a math lesson. His fingers lingered against her temple. Nathan, she warned softly. Right. Friends. He stepped back. Friends who notice each other's chalk. Dr. Williams, observing from the doorway, shook her head with a knowing smile. Lord help us all, she muttered. The turning point came during a foundation gala. Emma hadn't wanted to attend, but Dr. Williams insisted the curriculum creator should be there to answer questions from donors. I don't have anything to wear to something like that, Emma protested. So we'll get you something, Dr. Williams said practically. Consider it a uniform. You're representing the foundation. The dress they found was simple but elegant, deep blue that brought out Emma's eyes. When she emerged from her apartment, Nathan was waiting with the car, having insisted on picking her up. He stood frozen, staring. Is it too much? Emma smoothed the dress nervously. The saleswoman said, You're perfect. His voice was rough. Absolutely perfect. Nathan, we agreed. I know. I'm sorry. You take my breath away. The gala was overwhelming. Hundreds of wealthy donors in a ballroom that cost more to rent than Emma's annual salary. She felt like a fraud until Dr. Williams took her arm. Chin up. You belong here more than any of them. You're the one doing the real work. Emma circulated, answering questions about the curriculum, passionate about the results. Donors were impressed, several pledging additional funds. She was explaining the reading program to a group when she heard a familiar, unwelcome voice. Well, well. Emma Rodriguez. Brandon stood there, champagne in hand, smirk firmly in place. Brandon. She kept her voice neutral. Excuse me, I was just telling them about your little teaching project. How sweet. Though I'm surprised they let you in here. This isn't exactly a $3 kind of event. The donors looked uncomfortable. Emma felt heat rise in her face. Miss Rodriguez is our lead curriculum developer, one donor said coldly. Her work is revolutionary. Is that what we're calling it? Brandon laughed. Did she tell you how we met? How she tried to scam a free meal by pretending she could afford Le Bernardin? That's not. Oh, it gets better. Sterling had to pay for her dinner because she only had $4 to her name. $4. And now she's here playing dress-up, pretending to be what exactly? Nathan's voice cut through like ice. He appeared at Emma's side, and the temperature in their corner seemed to drop 10 degrees. Sterling. Brandon's bravado faltered. You were just leaving. Again. Security's by the door if you need help finding it. This is a public event. It's a private foundation gala, and you weren't invited. Nathan stepped closer. Leave, now, or I'll have you removed. Brandon fled. The donors dispersed tactfully, leaving Nathan and Emma alone. I'm sorry, she said quietly. I'm ruining your event. You're the best thing at this event. He touched her elbow gently. Are you okay? I don't belong here, Nathan. He's right. I'm playing dress-up in a borrowed dress, pretending. You're not pretending anything. You're brilliant and passionate, and you've done more good in 3 months than most of these people do in a lifetime. He turned her to face him. You belong anywhere you choose to be. I had $4, she whispered. He's not lying about that. When you met me, I literally had $4 to my name. And now you're changing thousands of lives. What's your point? My point is that this isn't my world. These people, this place. Then let's leave. What? Let's go. Right now. Get hot dogs from a street vendor and walk in the park and talk about anything but money or foundations or people like Brandon. You can't leave your own gala. Watch me. He was already guiding her toward the exit. I've written the checks. They don't need me for anything else. They ended up in Central Park, Emma still in her gown, Nathan having shed his jacket and tie. The hot dog vendor did a double take but said nothing. "Better?" Nathan asked as they found a bench. "Much." Emma bit into her hot dog gratefully, though this dress probably wasn't meant for mustard. "It's your dress. Do whatever you want with it." Dr. Williams bought it for the foundation. I bought it. I told her to say it was from the foundation so you wouldn't argue. He held up a hand at her expression. "It's not charity, it's a gift. From a friend who wanted you to feel comfortable tonight." "Nathan, I know we're friends, just friends. Friends who buy each other dresses and defend each other from jerks and eat hot dogs in formal wear. This is crazy." "The best things usually are." They sat in comfortable silence, city lights twinkling around them. Finally, Emma spoke. "My contract ends in 2 weeks. I know. Dr. Williams offered me a permanent position." Nathan turned sharply. "She did? That's wonderful. Emma, that's—" He stopped. "You don't look happy about it. I'd still be working for your foundation. You'd still be my employer, indirectly. Dr. Williams would be your boss. I'm just on the board." "Nathan." "I know," he sighed. "It's not enough separation. You need to be independent. I need to know that what I feel isn't gratitude or dependence or some misguided— What do you feel?" Emma looked at him, this complicated man who'd entered her life at her lowest moment and somehow lifted her up without making her feel small. "I feel like you see me. Not the poor girl who needed saving, not the teacher with potential, just me. And I see you. Not the CEO or the philanthropist, just Nathan who likes pizza and gets passionate about education reform and still misses his mother. Is that enough?" "It's everything." She took a breath. "But I still need to stand on my own feet first. I've already applied to other positions, real teaching jobs, one in Manhattan actually. The pay's not as good as the foundation, but it's mine." "Did you get it?" "Interviews Monday. You'll get it." He said it with such certainty she almost believed him. "You're an incredible teacher. Any school would be lucky to have you. And if I do get it, if I'm not working for your foundation anymore, then I'll ask you on a real date. One where we both know exactly who we are and what we want." "And what do you want, Nathan?" "You," he said simply. "Just you. In whatever way you'll have me. If you've ever had to choose between security and independence, you know how hard that decision can be. Sometimes the bravest thing is choosing yourself first. Let me know your thoughts in the comments." Emma got the teaching job. The interview went perfectly, the principal practically offering her the position on the spot. It was a good school in a diverse neighborhood, exactly the kind of place she wanted to be. "Congratulations," Nathan said when she told him. They were in his office going over final curriculum notes before her foundation contract ended. "When do you start?" 2 weeks, right after this ends." She gestured between them. "Clean break. And then you call me, like you promised. The second your contract ends." "Maybe wait a day. Don't want to seem too eager," he laughed. "Emma Rodriguez, you're going to make me wait an extra day?" "Good things are worth waiting for." "Yes," he said softly. "They are." Her last day at the foundation was bittersweet. Dr. Williams hugged her tightly. "You know you always have a place here," she said. "When you're ready." "When I'm ready," Emma agreed. Nathan was notably absent, having a conveniently timed business trip. Emma understood. Seeing each other would have made leaving harder. That night, she found a package at her door. Inside was a first edition of To Kill a Mockingbird. She'd mentioned it was her favorite book to teach. The note was simple. "For your new classroom. Every great teacher needs great books. NPS. The waiting is killing me already." Emma clutched the book, smiling through tears. Tomorrow, everything would change. Tomorrow, she'd truly be independent. And the day after? The day after, her phone rang at exactly 9 a.m. "Is this Emma Rodriguez, the brilliant teacher who's definitely not working for my foundation anymore?" "This is she." "Is this Nathan Sterling, the CEO who's definitely not my employer in any capacity?" "The very same." "I was wondering if you'd like to have dinner with me. somewhere with normal-sized portions and prices that won't require a loan. I know just the place. They met at a small Italian restaurant in her neighborhood. Nathan looked nervous, fidgeting with his menu. "Relax," Emma said. "It's just me. That's why I'm nervous. This matters." "Nathan!" She reached across the table, taking his hand. "We've been dancing around this for months. Can we just be ourselves? Be honest?" "Okay. Honestly, I'm terrified. I haven't done this in years. Real dating, real feelings, real possibility of getting hurt. Me too, but I'd rather be terrified with you than safe with anyone else. Even though I come with complications, the money, the business, the baggage, even though, as long as you can handle mine, the sick mother, the student loans, the pride that makes me difficult sometimes. Your pride is one of my favorite things about you. My stubbornness, determination, and yes, I love that too. My complete inability to understand wine pairings means I get to teach you, or we can drink beer. I'm flexible." Emma laughed. "I think this might work." "I think so too." Dinner was perfect. They talked about everything and nothing, finally free to just be Nathan and Emma. No contracts, no obligations, no power dynamics, just two people falling in love. "I have a confession," Nathan said over dessert. "I've been carrying something since our second meeting." He pulled out a small, worn piece of paper. Emma recognized it immediately, the receipt from their first dinner at Le Bernardin. "You kept it?" "To remind me of the night everything changed, the night I met someone who saw me as just Nathan." He turned it over, revealing notes he'd written on the back. "I wrote down everything I could remember about you. The way you held your head high even when Brandon tried to humiliate you. How you insisted you didn't need charity. Your laugh when you finally relaxed. Nathan, I knew that night I'd found something special. Someone special. I just had to wait for the right time. And now? Now is perfect." He took her hand. "Emma Rodriguez, will you be my girlfriend? My real, official, tell-the-world girlfriend?" "That depends. Will you be my boyfriend? My sometimes stubborn, always kind, sees the best in people boyfriend?" "Always." "Then yes." They walked home slowly, hands linked, in no rush to end the evening. At her building, Nathan hesitated. "Would you like to come up? Meet my mother. She's been asking about you for months." "I'd be honored." Emma's mother was waiting in the living room, trying to pretend she hadn't been watching from the window. Her face lit up when they entered. "You must be Nathan. I've heard so much about you." "All good, I hope." Nathan took her hand gently, mindful of her condition. "It's wonderful to finally meet you, Mrs. Rodriguez. Please, call me Maria, and thank you for everything you've done for Emma. She's done more for me, I promise you." They talked for an hour, Maria sharing embarrassing stories about Emma's childhood, Nathan listening with genuine interest. When it was time for Maria's medication, he helped without being asked, his movements careful and respectful. "I like him," Maria said after he left. "He has kind eyes." "He does," Emma agreed. "And he loves you." "I think he does. No thinking about it." "That man is completely smitten." Maria patted her daughter's hand. "And you love him." "I do. Is that crazy? It's only been a few months." "Love doesn't follow schedules, Mija. It comes when it comes. The question is what you do with it." Their relationship progressed naturally after that. Nathan met Emma's teacher friends, fitting in surprisingly well despite their initial wariness. Emma met his business associates, holding her own in conversations about everything from education policy to art. "You're good for him," Eleanor Sterling said at a family dinner. "He smiles now, really smiles, not the polite one he uses for cameras." "He's good for me too," Emma said. "He makes me believe in possibilities." "The best relationships do that. My Harold and I brought out the best in each other for 53 years. Eleanor's eyes misted. "Nathan reminds me of him now, happy." But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The media discovered their relationship, painting it as a Cinderella story that made Emma cringe. From $4 to fortune, how a poor teacher captured a billionaire's heart, read one particularly awful headline. "I'm sorry," Nathan said, finding her crying over the article. "I should have prepared you for this. They make it sound like I'm a gold digger who planned the whole thing. Anyone who knows you knows that's ridiculous. But everyone who doesn't know me thinks it's true. My students' parents are reading this, my principal. Everyone." Nathan pulled her close. "So we prove them wrong. We live our lives, we do good work, and eventually they'll see the truth. And if they don't, then they don't matter. The people who matter know who you are." It took time, but he was right. Emma's students adored her. Their parents appreciated her dedication, and her principal publicly praised her innovative teaching methods. The gossip faded, replaced by respect. 6 months into their official relationship, Nathan took her to Le Bernardin. "Really?" Emma laughed as they were seated. "This place? I thought we should reclaim it, make new memories." This time Emma ordered for herself, choosing what she wanted without checking prices. Nathan watched with a soft smile. "What?" she asked. You're so confident now, so sure of yourself." "I always was, I just hid it better before." "No, it's more than that. You know your worth now, not in dollars, but in value. You helped with that. You did it yourself. I just provided opportunity." After dinner, Nathan suggested a walk. They ended up at the same spot in Central Park, where they'd eaten hot dogs in formal wear. "Emma," Nathan said suddenly, "I need to tell you something." Her heart sank. "That sounds ominous." "No, it's good. At least I think it's good." He took a breath. "I'm restructuring the foundation, making it the primary focus of Sterling Industries. Less corporate work, more direct impact." "Nathan, that's wonderful. There's more. I want you to run the education division, not as an employee, but as a full partner. Your own budget, your own team, complete autonomy." "Nathan, I can't." "Before you say no, hear me out. This isn't charity or nepotism. You've proven yourself. The curriculum you developed has been adopted by 40 schools. Test scores are up across the board. You know what these kids need. I'm a teacher, not an executive. You're an educator who understands systemic change. That's exactly what we need." He took her hands. "Think about it. You could impact thousands of students instead of 30. You could train teachers, develop programs, change the entire landscape of public education. And us? How would that work? We'd be partners in every sense, professional and personal, equal stakes, equal say." He paused. "I know it's a lot. Take time to think about it." "I don't need time." Emma squeezed his hands. "Yes. Really? Really? But I have conditions. I report to the board, not you. We keep work and personal separate, and I get to hire my own team, including Dr. Williams, if she's willing." Done, done, and done. Nathan pulled her close. "Partners? Partners." They sealed it with a kiss, there in the park, where so much of their story had unfolded. The announcement made waves. From teacher to executive, the Emma Rodriguez story was a much better headline than the previous ones. Emma threw herself into the work, building a team of passionate educators, expanding programs, proving that systemic change was possible. "You're working too hard," Nathan said one evening, finding her still at her desk at 9 p.m. "Pot, meet kettle," she replied, not looking up from her proposal. "Fair point. How about we both go home?" "In a minute. I just need to finish this section on resource allocation." Nathan rounded the desk, gently closing her laptop. "The work will be here tomorrow." "But, Emma, when's the last time we had dinner together? Just us, no work talk." She thought about it and winced. "Tuesday? Try last Tuesday, 9 days ago." "Oh, Nathan, I'm sorry. I got caught up in the Detroit project and..." "I'm not criticizing. I'm saying we both need to remember why we're doing this. Not for the work itself, but for what it creates. And what's the point of creating a better world if we don't take time to enjoy it?" He was right. They'd both become so focused on their mission that they'd neglected their relationship. "Dinner?" Emma suggested. That Italian place we love? Perfect, but first... Nathan dropped to one knee. Emma's heart stopped. Nathan, what are you... Emma Rodriguez, you've taught me that true worth isn't measured in dollars, but in impact. You've shown me that strength comes from lifting others up. You've made me a better man and given my life purpose beyond profit margins. He pulled out a small velvet box. Will you marry me? Be my partner in all things, forever. The ring was perfect, not ostentatious, just a simple solitaire that caught the light beautifully. Yes, Emma breathed. Yes, of course, yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, then stood to kiss her. Around them, the office was empty, but Emma felt like the whole world was celebrating. I love you, Nathan said against her lips, from $4 to forever. That's cheesy, Emma laughed through her tears. But true, you had $4 and all the dignity in the world. Now you have my heart and all my respect, and soon my name if you want it. Rodriguez Sterling has a nice ring to it. It does. Though you know the press will have a field day. Let them. We know our truth. The wedding was small, held in the community center of the first school to pilot Emma's curriculum. Students served as flower girls and ring bearers. Dr. Williams officiated, having gotten ordained just for the occasion. Do you, Nathan Sterling, take this woman to be your wife? To support her dreams, challenge her growth, and love her through every season of life? I do, forever and always. Do you, Emma Rodriguez, take this man to be your husband, to stand beside him, build with him, and remind him daily that money is just paper but love is priceless? I do, with all my heart. Then, by the power vested in me by the state of New York and these beautiful children who keep asking if there's cake yet, I pronounce you husband and wife. Their kiss was interrupted by cheers from the students, who were indeed ready for cake. The reception was potluck style, teachers and parents contributing dishes. Brandon would have been horrified. The media called it charmingly humble. Emma and Nathan called it perfect. No regrets? Nathan asked as they danced to music played by the school band. Only one, Emma said. What's that? I should have ordered something that first night, even just bread. I was so hungry. Nathan laughed, spinning her. I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you never go hungry again. Promise? I promise. No more $4 dinners. Unless we want them. Sometimes hot dogs in the park are better than 5-star meals. You're right, as always. He dipped her, making her laugh. Mrs. Rodriguez Sterling, have I told you today that you're brilliant? Only 12 times. Not nearly enough then. They danced among their students and community, proof that love doesn't care about bank accounts or social status. It only cares about connection, respect, and the willingness to see each other clearly. Maria watched from her wheelchair, tears streaming down her face. Eleanor Sterling sat beside her, holding her hand. Our children did good, Eleanor said. They did, Maria agreed. They really did. As the evening wound down, Emma found herself in the kitchen, helping clean up despite protests that the bride shouldn't be washing dishes. Old habits, she said, elbow deep in suds. Nathan joined her, grabbing a dish towel. Need help? Always. They worked side by side, comfortable in the simple domesticity of it. This was them, Nathan and Emma, washing dishes at their wedding because that's who they were beneath the titles and bank accounts. I love you, Emma said suddenly. I love you too. Even when you insist on doing dishes in your wedding dress. Especially then. Especially then. 1 year later, the Sterling Rodriguez Foundation had expanded to 100 schools across 5 states. Emma's programs were being studied at university level, her methods revolutionizing how people thought about education equality. We have a problem, Nathan said one evening, finding Emma in her home office. What kind of problem? The kind where my wife works too much and might miss the reservation I made for our anniversary. Emma checked the date and gasped. Is it really? Nathan, I'm so sorry. I completely lost track of time. I know. That's why I cleared your calendar for the next 3 days. 3 days? I can't take 3 days off. The Chicago implementation is next week and Dr. Williams is handling it. Your team is more than capable. And you, my brilliant, dedicated workaholic wife, need a break. But no buts. We're going away. Somewhere with no cell service and no curriculum planning. Where? It's a surprise. But I will say, you should pack that blue dress, the one from the gala. 3 hours later, they were on a plane to Paris. Emma laughed when she realized their destination. Paris? Really? You mentioned once that you'd always wanted to see the Louvre. Besides, I owe you a proper honeymoon. Getting called back for the Boston crisis 2 days after our wedding wasn't ideal. That wasn't your fault. No, but this is my solution. 3 days, just us, no work, no obligations. Just art museums and good food and remembering why we fell in love. I remember why. You saved me when I needed it most. No, Nathan said firmly. You saved yourself. I just provided dinner. You did everything else. We saved each other then. That's better, more accurate. Paris was magical. They wandered museums, ate at tiny cafes, got lost in side streets. On their last night, Nathan took her to a restaurant overlooking the Seine. This is beautiful, Emma said, watching the lights reflect on the water. You're beautiful and brilliant, and I have something to tell you. Should I be worried? No, at least I hope not. He took her hand. Emma, what would you say to expanding our family? You mean the foundation? We're already in talks with... No, I mean our family, you and me. Maybe a small person who calls us Mom and Dad. Emma's eyes widened. Are you saying... I'm saying I want to have children with you. When you're ready. If you want to. I want to, she said immediately. I've been thinking about it too. I just wasn't sure if you... with your work and mine. We'll figure it out, we always do. Partners, remember? Partners, Emma agreed. In everything. So we're doing this? Really doing this? We're really doing this. They sealed the decision with a kiss, there in Paris, the city of love, living up to its reputation. 9 months later, Emma gave birth to a daughter. They named her Hope. Because that's what you gave me, Nathan said, cradling the tiny bundle. Hope that life could be more than transactions. Hope that love was worth the risk. You gave me the same thing, Emma said, exhausted but happy. Hope that dreams could come true, even when you only have $4. $4 and a lifetime of determination. And a guardian angel who pretended to own a restaurant. Nathan laughed. I did own part of it. Just a very small part. How small? 2%. But it counted. Everything counts when it comes to love. Hope grew up surrounded by love and purpose. She attended public school despite Nathan's wealth, learning alongside the students her mother's program served. She volunteered at the foundation, understanding from an early age that privilege came with responsibility. Tell me the story, Hope demanded on her 5th birthday, climbing into Emma's lap. Which story, baby? The one about how you met Daddy, with the $4. Emma smiled, pulling her daughter close. Nathan joined them, the 3 of them cozy on the couch. Once upon a time, Emma began, Mommy went on a very bad date. The worst date, Nathan interjected. The worst date. And she only had $4 in her pocket. That's not very much, Hope observed. No, it's not. But sometimes when you don't have much money, you discover you have something more valuable. What's that? Courage. And sometimes, if you're very lucky, you meet someone who sees that courage and values it more than all the money in the world. Like Daddy. Exactly like Daddy. And then what happened? Then Daddy did something very kind. He helped Mommy when she needed it, without making her feel bad about needing help. Because that's what good people do, Hope said, repeating what she'd been taught. That's right. And from that one kind act, a whole life grew, love, family, work that helps others, all from one moment of kindness. And $4. And $4, Emma agreed, kissing her daughter's head. Best investment I ever made, Nathan said, pulling both his girls close. We weren't an investment, Emma protested. Sure you were. I invested kindness and got back love. That's a pretty good return." "Daddy's silly," Hope giggled. "The silliest," Emma agreed, "but we love him anyway." "Because love doesn't care about money," Hope recited. "That's right, baby. Love only cares about hearts," Hope finished triumphantly. As their daughter ran off to play, Emma and Nathan sat quietly, reflecting on the journey that had brought them here. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't been at that restaurant that night?" Emma asked. "I try not to," Nathan said. "The thought of missing this, missing you and Hope, it's too painful to consider. But you almost didn't go. You told me you'd been avoiding that restaurant since the breakup with Victoria. Fate, maybe? Or just the universe deciding we'd both been alone long enough?" "I don't believe in fate," Emma said. "I believe in choices. You chose to help me. I chose to accept. We chose each other over and over, even when it was complicated." "Still choosing," Nathan murmured, kissing her temple. "Every day." "Mommy, Daddy, look what I made." Hope ran back, holding a drawing. It was their family, stick figures but clearly labeled, Mommy teaching, Daddy helping, and me learning. "It's beautiful, sweetheart," Emma said. "Should we hang it on the refrigerator?" "No, it's for Grandma Maria, for her room at the healing place." Emma's eyes misted. Maria had moved to an assisted living facility 6 months ago as her condition progressed, but Hope visited weekly, bringing drawings and stories. "She'll love it," Nathan said. "Want to take it to her now? Can we?" "Of course, family first always." As they prepared to leave, Emma's phone buzzed. An email from a teacher in Detroit with photos of smiling students holding books provided by the Foundation's literacy program. "Look," she showed Nathan. "Remember that little girl who couldn't read at grade level? Jasmine? She just won her school's reading competition. Her teacher says she can't stop talking about becoming a teacher, like the lady who brought the books. That lady being you. Being us, all of us. The whole team." Emma smiled at the photo. "This is why we do it." $4, Nathan said softly. "What?" "You had $4, and now hundreds of kids have libraries, thousands have better education, all because one night you had the courage to show up even when you couldn't afford to. And because you had the kindness to help without humiliating. That's the real story, Nathan. Not riches to rags or any fairy tale, just two people choosing kindness and building from there. Think Hope understands that." They looked at their daughter, carefully rolling up her drawing for Grandma. "She's living it," Emma said. "That's better than understanding." The drive to Maria's facility was filled with Hope's chatter about school, friends, and her upcoming dance recital. Normal family life, which felt extraordinary to two people who'd almost missed it. "Grandma," Hope burst into Maria's room with 5-year-old enthusiasm. "Mi amor!" Maria's face lit up, despite her increasing frailty. "What have you brought me today?" As Hope presented her drawing and launched into a detailed explanation of everyone's roles, Emma watched her mother with mixed emotions. The disease was progressing, but Maria's spirit remained bright, especially around her granddaughter. "She's a miracle," Maria said quietly, while Hope showed Nathan her collection of drawings on the wall. "My granddaughter, the miracle I thought I'd never see." "Mom, I'm not being morbid, Mija. Just grateful. When you came home that night, crying about the terrible date but glowing about the kind stranger I knew." "Knew what?" "That everything was about to change, that all our struggles had led to that moment." Maria took Emma's hand with her own trembling one. "You found your angel." "He found me too. That's how the best love works, mutual finding. Grandma, look!" Hope climbed carefully onto the bed. "I learned to write a new word. Watch." She slowly spelled out LOVE on Maria's hand. "Perfect," Maria said. "The most important word. Mummy says love is more important than money. Daddy says love is money, just better. Your daddy's a smart man," Maria laughed. "The smartest," Nathan agreed, rejoining them. "Except when Mummy's around. Then she's the smartest." "That's called wisdom," Maria said. "Knowing who to listen to." They stayed until Maria tired, Hope reading a simple book to her grandmother with Emma's help. As they prepared to leave, Maria beckoned Nathan close. "Thank you," she whispered, "for saving my girl." "She saved me right back," Nathan said. "Every day she saves me." "Good, that's how it should be." In the car, Hope fell asleep almost immediately, worn out from the visit. Emma reached over to take Nathan's hand. "She's getting worse." "I know, but she's happy, surrounded by love, seeing her granddaughter grow. That's not nothing." "It's everything," Emma agreed. "Thank you for making sure she has the best care. Family takes care of family. That's what you taught me." "When did I teach you that?" "Every day. By example. The way you cared for her when you had nothing, the way you still do now that we have everything. That's real wealth, Emma. The willingness to show up for people you love. You show up too. For me, for Hope, for thousands of kids you'll never meet. I learned from the best." They drove in comfortable silence, Hope snoring softly in the back seat, their hands linked over the center console. 10 years ago, Emma had sat in a restaurant bathroom with $4, terrified and alone. Now she had a family, purpose, and the knowledge that kindness could indeed change everything. "Hey," Nathan said suddenly, "want to get dinner?" "Sure. Where?" "Le Bernardin?" Emma laughed. "Really? Again?" "It's tradition now. Every anniversary of our meeting." "That's in 2 weeks. So we'll go twice. Once for tradition, once for Tuesday." "You know what? Yes. But this time I'm buying." "Deal." Though technically with joint accounts. Nathan Sterling, are you about to ruin a romantic gesture with financial logistics? "Never. You buy dinner. I'll leave the tip." $4? $4, plus a few thousand% interest. For inflation? For love. Emma groaned at the pun, but she was smiling. This was their life. Comfortable teasing, shared jokes, deep love expressed in small moments. Not a fairy tale, but something better. A real partnership built on mutual respect and genuine affection. "Mommy?" Hope's sleepy voice came from the back seat. "Are we home?" "Almost, baby." "Good. I want to draw another picture, this time with Grandma Eleanor too. She said I could call her that last week." "Did she?" Nathan sounded pleased. His grandmother had been formal at first, but Hope had worn her down with sheer adorableness. "Uh-huh. She said I reminded her of someone named Harold." "That was her husband," Nathan explained. "My grandfather." "Was he nice?" "The nicest. He would have loved you. Like Grandma Maria loves me. Exactly like that." "Good. Everyone should have grandmas who love them, even if they're sick or sad or live far away." Emma met Nathan's eyes in the rearview mirror, out of the mouths of babes. "You're absolutely right, sweetheart," Emma said. "Love is what matters most." "I know," Hope said matter-of-factly. "You and Daddy teach me that every day." As they pulled into their driveway, a modest home despite Nathan's wealth because Emma insisted their daughter grow up grounded, Emma reflected on the journey. From $4 to here hadn't been about the money. It had been about courage, kindness, and the choice to see beyond circumstances to the person beneath. "What are you thinking?" Nathan asked, helping Hope from her car seat. "Just grateful for all of it, even the hard parts that led us here." "Even Brandon?" "Especially Brandon. Without his awfulness, you might not have noticed me." "I would have noticed you anywhere," Nathan said firmly. "But I'm glad I noticed you when you needed me." "When we needed each other," Emma corrected. "Mommy, Daddy, stop being mushy and come see." Hope had run ahead to the front door where a package waited. It was from the Foundation, a bound copy of Emma's curriculum guide, now in its 3rd edition, being used in over 500 schools nationwide. "Look at that," Nathan said proudly. "From one classroom to 500, from one teacher to an army of educators, all because you believed every child deserved excellence." "We believed," Emma corrected. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." "Sure you could have. It might have taken longer, but you'd have found a way. You always do." "Mommy's book," Hope said excitedly. "Can I bring it to show and tell?" "Of course, baby. I'll tell everyone my mommy helps kids learn to read and my daddy helps her help them, and I help by testing the games." "The most important job," Nathan said seriously. As they entered their home, Hope running ahead to find paper for her new drawing, Emma and Nathan paused in the doorway. "No regrets?" Nathan asked, their old ritual. "Not one," Emma confirmed. "You?" "Only that I can't go back and find you sooner. Then we might not have hope, or the foundation, or any of this exactly as it is." "You're right, as usual." He pulled her close. "Thank you, Emma." "For what?" "For having the courage to show up that night, for accepting help, for seeing me as more than a wallet, for building this life with me. Thank you for being worth $4 and a lifetime of love. Best deal ever made. The very best." They kissed there in their doorway, Hope's happy humming in the background, the sound of home and family and dreams made real through simple human kindness. Later that evening, as Emma tucked Hope into bed, her daughter asked, "Mommy, will you tell me a different story tonight?" "Which one would you like?" "The one about the teacher who changed the world." "I don't know that one, sweetheart." "Yes, you do. It's about you." Emma's throat tightened. "I haven't changed the world, baby." "Yes, you have. You changed Daddy's world, and mine, and all those kids in the pictures. That's a lot of worlds. When did you get so wise?" "I learned from you and Daddy, and Grandma Maria, and Grandma Eleanor, and Mrs. Patterson at school, and—" Okay, Emma laughed. "You learned from everyone. That's what Daddy says, that everyone has something to teach if we're willing to learn. Daddy's pretty smart. The smartest, except for you. Go to sleep, my wise little girl." Story first. Once upon a time, Emma began, there was a teacher who thought she could only change one classroom at a time. As she told the story, her story, their story, Emma heard Nathan listening from the hallway. When Hope finally drifted off, he was waiting. "The teacher who changed the world?" he asked softly. Her words, not mine. "She's right, you know. You have changed the world. One student, one school, one chance at a time. We have. Together." "Together," he agreed. "Always together." They stood in the hallway of their home, built on a foundation of $4 and infinite kindness, and knew that sometimes the best investments couldn't be measured in money. They could only be measured in the lives touched, the hope restored, and the love that grew from one moment of choosing to help rather than look away. "Come on," Nathan said. "Let's go plan how to change the world some more tomorrow." "After coffee?" "Definitely after coffee. Even world changers need caffeine. Especially world changers who started with $4. Those are the best kind. The very best. And in a house full of love, with their daughter dreaming of all the ways she too would help others, Emma and Nathan continued writing their story. One choice, one kindness, one transformed life at a time. Because that's what love does. It multiplies. From $4 to forever, from one act of kindness to thousands of changed lives, from two lonely people in a restaurant to a family dedicated to lifting others up. The best stories aren't about the money. They're about the moments when we choose to see each other's worth beyond any price tag. And sometimes, just sometimes, those moments change everything. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful journey of love, dignity, and the power of kindness. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to be reminded that their worth isn't measured in dollars but in character. Have you ever experienced a moment of kindness that changed your life? Or been in a situation where someone saw your true value when you felt worthless? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. Remember, we all have the power to be someone's Nathan, to offer help without humiliation, to see potential where others see problems, and to choose kindness even when it's easier to look away. Until next time, keep believing that the best things in life have nothing to do with price tags and everything to do with how we treat each other. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next story.